I want to say this up front because it matters. I didn't believe in aliens when this happened. Not really. I wasn't the kind of person who watched documentaries or went looking for signs in the sky. I didn't think people who claimed encounters were lying, but I always assumed there was another explanation. Something human, something psychological, something we just haven't figured out yet. And after this encounter, I stopped assuming that. At the time, I lived in a small rental house on the edge of town. Not rural enough to be isolated, not suburban enough to feel busy. One of those places where the streets are dark at night and everything closes early. Behind my house was a stretch of unused land. Not farmland, not forest, just open dirt patches of grass. A few tree lines in the distance. People didn't really go back there, but not because it was scary. There just wasn't reason to. At night it was quiet, no streetlights, no houses close enough to throw light. Just darkness and the sky. The first time I noticed something, I didn't even think twice about it. I was laying in my bed, scrolling on my phone around 12:30 a.m. when my room suddenly got brighter. Not like someone turned on the light, more like the moon suddenly got closer. I sat up and looked at the wall confused, then turned towards the window. There was a light in the sky, not moving fast, not blinking, just sitting there. Bright white, slightly bluish, hovering higher than a helicopter, but lower where planes usually pass. I watched it for about maybe 10 seconds before my brain did what brains do. It's probably a drone. It's probably a plane turning. It's probably something normal. I laid back down. That was mistake number one. The next night it happened again. Same time, same brightness, same part of the sky. That's when it stopped feeling random. I got up to the window. This time I watched longer. The light wasn't traveling in a straight line. It would drift slightly, stop, then adjust direction. No sound, no flicker. And then, and this is hard to explain, I felt like it adjusted towards me. Not zooming, not rushing, just slow and calculated. I remember stepping back from the window and feeling stupid for even feeling uneasy. It's a light, I told myself. Lights don't care if you're looking at them. I closed the blind, but the room stayed bright. By the third night, I was waiting for it. That's the part I hate admitting. Around midnight, I turned off my TV, turned off my phone, and just laid there in the dark, watching the ceiling. 12:17 a.m. The glow came back, but this time, it wasn't outside. It was coming through the walls. Not literally shining through, more like the dark itself was lighter, like the air had dim backlight. I sat up fast. My ears started to feel full, like when you change altitude too quickly. A low pressure, not a ringing. I walked to the window and opened the blinds. The light was closer. Not closer to the house, closer to me. I don't know how else to say that. It wasn't over the field anymore. It was positioned so that if I leaned forward, it lined up perfectly with my window. And that's when the fear finally showed up. I didn't hear a voice. I didn't see a figure. But I felt something very clearly. Attention. Not curiosity. Not a threat. But awareness. Like that moment you realize someone in the crowd is staring directly at you and it's been longer than it makes sense. My heart was pounding, but my body felt heavy, slow, like my reactions were delayed by half a second. I remember thinking, if this thing wanted to hurt me, it would have already. But that thought didn't calm me. It made it worse. The next thing I remember clearly is being on the floor, not knocked out, not in pain, just sitting with my back against the bed, my hands in my lap like I placed them there deliberately. The light was gone. The room was dark again. I checked my phone. It said 2:04 a.m. The last time I remember checking the time, it was just after midnight. I hadn't slept. I knew that. My body didn't feel rested. It felt interrupted, like I've been on pause. I stood up immediately and got dizzy, had to sit back down. That's when I noticed a smell. It was clean, sharp, almost metallic. Not like a chemical, just an unfamiliar smell. I didn't see it until the next morning. I was brushing my teeth when I caught something in the mirror. My arm looked slightly red. On the inside of my upper arm were 3 small marks evenly placed. Not scratches, not bites, no broken skin. They looked like pressure points, like something had rested there briefly, then let go. They didn't hurt. For the next week, I didn't tell anyone. I Googled everything: sleep paralysis, hallucinations, anxiety episodes, environmental light pollution. None of it fit cleanly, especially not the missing time, especially not the marks. I tried sleeping with the lights on, then with the music playing, and then with the TV on. It didn't matter. Whatever it was didn't come when I was sleeping. It came when I was awake. One night, I decided I wasn't going to look away. I made coffee around 11 p.m. and sat on my bed, blinds open, lights off. I told myself I was taking control. At 12:11 a.m., the glow returned, but this time it didn't stop in the sky. It descended, slow, silent, controlled. The light spread across the field behind my house like a dome instead of a beam. The ground beneath it looked flattened and smooth. My ears filled with pressure again, and then finally I saw something in the light. A shape, tall and thin, standing where no person could have been without me noticing before. It didn't walk. It shifted positions like frames skipping. And I knew without being told. It knew I was awake. I didn't freeze this time. I backed away from the window. The pressure increased instantly. My vision blurred. And then the thought came. Just stay still. I grabbed my phone and pointed at the window. The screen went black. Not dead, not frozen, just black. I dropped it and ran for the bathroom, locking the door behind me like that would help. The light intensified. Not outside, not inside my head. And just like before, everything went black. I woke up on my couch, fully dressed, shoes on, my front door unlocked, and morning light coming through the windows. I checked the time. 7:32 a.m. I had no memory of leaving the bathroom, no memory of going to the couch, no memory of unlocking the door, but the smell was back. That same clean metallic scent. And this time, I knew I hadn't imagined it. I moved out 2 weeks later. I just left. I never saw the light again after that. But sometimes even now, I wake up at night with the same pressure in my ears and that feeling, that awareness, like something is checking whether I'm awake. I don't know what they wanted. I don't know why it happened more than once. And I don't know why it stopped. But I know this. Whatever was out there didn't need to chase me. It already knew where I was. And once I understood that, I didn't need any more answers.